motivates. And it doesn't necessarily mean that he knows what you want to achieve, but let's call it more like a cheerleader. Those kind of mentors are actually the best mentors, because if you know where you want to go, for sure you will find the way. But if you have these cheerleaders like of mentors, you'll make it, because they keep you on track. They're there, keep you focused, keep you motivated. That's my extra that I wanted to add to this. I'm going now to the next question. One second. As I just said, must a mentor be doing the exact thing the mentee plans to do? What is your take on it, Emilia? I just gave my insight, but what do you think of this? Hello, Emilia, are you there with us? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I think she's doing something. So you can skip to the next speaker, please.
Okay, can you take the question, Mr. Edmond?
Okay, so please, what was the question?
The question was, must your mentor do exactly what you're doing? Or can he be, like I just explained, can he be doing something else? What is your take on this?
Okay, I think the previous speaker just said something just now.
Yeah.
The mentor, the mentee knows what he wants, what he or she wants. So yeah, based on what he or she wants from the mentor, it doesn't really matter what the mentor does. For example, it's possible the mentee is into a different field of study, like chemistry, for example, and the mentor is a professor of English, but the mentee love the consistency of the mentor, how he dress, or how he teaches, or how he simplifies problem. So it all depends on what the mentee admires on his or her mentor. That's more important. So it doesn't really matter for the mentor to be in the same track with the mentee in terms of career or job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will go to the next question. Now, let's say your mentor is one that is not really a match, right? And maybe you don't even know it.
Okay.
What are the advantages of this for you and the disadvantages? Where I see none, but you never know. Maybe you see some advantages in this.
Okay.
Did you got me?
Yes, yeah, of course. I get you.
Let's say you have a mentor that doesn't match what you're doing. No match at all. It's not really doing or not really helping you in no way. What happens to such a person if he is connected to somebody like that? What are the advantages and the disadvantages in this case?
Okay,
it's a difficult one, I know.
Yes, I'll probably cite an example, a very short example for this question. While I was doing my graduate study, I studied mathematics. Although I don't want to be a teacher, okay. I did my graduate study in mathematics. So when I started my course, my my mentor, was my supervisor. So when I started the course, I think the first 2 months we were always having conflict, okay, because he wants me to do something different. It's something different, a research area that was slightly different from what I needed. So along the line, I didn't see any point, so I was more like, worried or stuff like that. But I remember something that I learned, which is you have to humble yourself every time. So along the line, my supervisor always give me a lot of books to read, and whenever I finish, or I read to half of the book, he always interviews me for the first. He was always interested for the book. They call it the preface, right? The preface or the abstract of the book, the early life of Albert Einstein, the early life of Stephen Hawking. So in my mind, then I was like, why do I need to study the early life of Albert Einstein or or wherever. I never
Mm-hmm.
understood. So I think after the third to the fourth month, I probably I had to just I just have to force myself to understand where he might be coming from, because this is a man who has finished his PhD, his postdoctorate, and he has been
Yeah.
in the field of where I want to be
Yeah.
for more than 30 years. So it was difficult, but I don't really like his area. Like, I don't want to be what he is, but I want to
Mm-hmm.
be. But I pick something from him, which is whatever you're doing, you must make sure it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to pick out that area from him. For example, if I'm solving any problem, or I'm assigned any task, I must
Mm-hmm.
make sure that thing must make sense. You can't just tell me
Okay.
something that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so that's just an explanation there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And Emilia, what is your take on this? And Mr. Busayo, you're next. Whoever can take this question up and is with us. Mr.
Mr.
Busayo, or
Musayo.
Oh, sorry. I was always muting myself when I was not being asked to
I
talk.
know.
All right. Yes, generally speaking, um, a mentee, seeking out to choose a mentor has a lot of factors to take into consideration, because the focus now should be on the mentee, because you need to receive something when you ask for something. Okay. And that is why it is important for any mentee who is seeking out to get a mentor to visualize in his or mind the ideal type of mentor that you need. You need to visualize the type of mentor you are seeking for. When you have a mentor that is not in the same field with you, there must be something that must have connected you with the mentor. There must be something that he or she is doing that you can admire and you look up to, connecting with that kind of achievements. That is where it begins. Okay, and it's important again for you to choose where is your mentor operating. For instance, if you are, let's say, for instance, you are into leadership and you look up to becoming a great leader, it may be incumbent on you to look for a leader who has passed through that road before you. For instance, maybe you want to be a Nigerian president and you admire someone like Barack Obama. You can visualize in your mind that I want to be like this guy. If you go out to get him to be your mentor, it may have a greater impact on what you produce at the end of the day. So it's important that there's a connection between where you are going and where your mentor has gone. He must have passed through the road, or he has the knowledge or the technical know-how on how to pass through that road. It's important for you. If you have a mentor that is not really in your field, he has not passed through the road you are passing, you may have challenges in understanding the nitty-gritty of what you want to achieve, because there's always a purpose in the mind of the mentee of what he or she wants to achieve by going out to get a mentor. Okay, so there's always a need for a kind of a connection between the industry or the organization. But not only that, there must be a connection between a mentor and a mentee. Sometimes I look at some of the mentors I have. I've not even met some of them, but I listen to their speeches. And sometimes when I listen, tears, tears is coming out of my eyes. I'm just wondering, the kind of message my mentor is passing across. They don't know me. I just listen, I read their books, I listen to them, I like what they have achieved, and I want to achieve much more than what they have achieved. So without even knowing me, they are my mentors. And sometimes when I listen to them, I imagine their depth of knowledge. I imagine their passion for the industry or the organization or the environment or the country or the nation where they are. And sometimes there is a connection between me and that mentor. Though I've not met the mentor, but there's a connection. There is a kind of inward connection that I just want to be like this guy. I like what he says. I read this book and I can, bring so much from the book what I want to achieve. So if you want to achieve your dream, You need to have a mentor who must have achieved that dream, or who is very knowledgeable. He has a technical expertise in that area, so that sometimes you can read the book of a good mentor, and the message is being passed across to you. You are getting a conversation. There's a conversation that is coming from the mentor, and you're not even meeting to talk directly. So when we get into the detail of this mentorship program, we are going to see a lot of mentor that you know them personally, you reach out to them, they reach out to you, they ask after you. But as a mentor, you just admire. You just like their passion. You like what they're achieving, and you want to achieve much. You may not even meet them face to face, but you can still have connection with them. Looking
So
at
1 minute. Can I ask then? So what you are basically telling us,
what
a mentor is more like somebody who's an example to you, because this is what the information I'm getting from you. It
that
doesn't
is it.
necessarily has to be a person that you know, or who's really standing next to you, or who's really how to say this, um in connection with you
Yes.
direct. It can be just somebody that you admire,
No,
and you would like to
not
be, and
only
you just
admire,
study his materials, or not
not only
admire, but
admire.
somebody you want to be like a sample, an example for you.
Yes,
Am
that's
I
just
right
an
in this?
aspect. Yes, what I'm just trying to say is this. When you look at the many dimensions of mentorship, you can have the
Hmm.
direct face-to-face mentorship where you have
Okay.
someone who's taking through the road, you have
Hmm.
challenges, you look up to them,
Hmm. Hmm.
they
Hmm.
encourage you, they reach out to you when you need help. But what I'm just saying
Okay.
is that what is more important about the mentorship program is that whether you have the mentors that are talking to you directly, or you have the mentor that you are not seeing them, what is more important is that you are connecting with the mentor. The mentee is having connection with the mentor. The mentee is receiving conversation or information from the mentor. Whether you meet them face to face, or you read their books, or you just know them very well, and you look at the messages they are passed across, those things must be there. The important virtue you want to take out of this mentorship is that you must be able to have someone that speaks to you, someone that guides you, someone that leads you in the way you are going, so that you want to achieve a goal. And you don't want to go alone, because when you go alone, you may achieve just by your knowledge, but you want to tap into someone else's knowledge. So mentorship can be direct or indirect. But what I'm just trying to say is that for the mentee, there must be connection. For the mentee, he must be able to receive guidance. For the mentee, he must be able to receive knowledge, which he can put into use on a day-to-day activities, and overcome the challenges that come in their future or for their dreams. I have some mentors that I've never met, but I've achieved so much because I read their book, I listened to their message, and their message resonates in my mind. And I just woke up and I must do something for myself. When I have challenges, I have some messages I listen to. They are my mentors. I listen to their messages. When I listen to the message, as if they are seeing me, directly, I just get up out of my bed and I want to go out and achieve something for myself. The book I wrote, I got so much encouragement from mentors I've never met, because I listened to them, I read their book, and they told me you can achieve your dream, you can make it to come to pass. It is possible if you know that this is what you have been called to do. Go out and do that. And I went out and I did that, and it was successful. So what I'm just saying is that whether you are having a mentor that you are talking to directly as a mentee, or you are reading their book, or you are listening to their message, the core, fundamental principle is that there must be a connection. There must be a relationship. There must be a communication. The mentor must be able to communicate to you, guide you on what to do. When those things are achieved, you can begin to see progress and achieving your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the explanation, because now finally I start to come to the understanding that you don't necessarily need to look for a person who is in direct contact with you, but you can just go online and look for materials of somebody who has reached where you want to go, and try to get as much information as you can, um, maybe through lectures or YouTube, about what this person has done, and so that you can go the same way, or even
Absolutely.
books.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. because even I always thought a mentor has to be really direct contact with you. But this is a nice, another way of looking at it. Thank you so much for that. Edmund, do you have something to say about this one?
Of course, yeah, sure. From the
You
last
agree with
speaker,
him?
okay, yeah, sure, it's fine. You can hear me, right? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sure. So from the last speaker, he spoke very correctly, and I have something
Mm-hmm.
else to say, but it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
more vast. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a mentor, yeah, okay, a mentor is a must. Hashtag is a must to the mentee because let's come from the academic side or from the academic side. When you become a reader or a graduate student who is doing his research or his PhD or whatever, yeah, you notice that you don't just do a new research just because you are a student of that department. Your research must be an extension of what someone else has done. So, which means that when you do a research, you are not doing your topic, you are just expanding or trying to make the other person who has done it over the past years, uh, bring more light on his research. So, again, everyone in the graduate department, first of all, they all have a mentor unknown to them because that's the reason why they are there. So again, for one to choose for one to choose the right mentor, just like I said previously, one must number one must know who he or she is, because before you can make a trip to anywhere, you must know where you are. If you're traveling from China to the US, you must first of all identify that yes, I'm in China first. Okay, then I need to go to the US. So along the line, our world today, many people, it's unfortunate, but so many people, they really don't know where exactly they are in terms of who am I? Because once you know who you are, then you know exactly what you want and the kind of mentor you want. Now, just to deviate from a topic more, now, the human brain, as a human being, the human brain, it has a limit of 2.5 million gigabytes. That is the capacity of the human brain. So, which means that our brain is
Wow.
enclosed. To okay, our brain is enclosed. You can imagine you probably watch movies, right? Some movies are 2 gigabytes and some movies are five
Yes, yes,
gigabytes.
yes.
Okay. But our human brain has a span, a capacity of 2.5 million gigabytes. So that means that if you
Wow, that's a big
translate,
computer.
yeah, that's right. So if you translate that information, you'll
Mm-hmm.
find out that the human brain can only accommodate 10,000, less than 10,000 names in a lifetime. So which means that as everybody is right now, you can only remember less than 10,000 names throughout your lifetime. Name of people is a fact. So
Names.
it is
You
very,
saying names
yeah, yeah,
of
names
people?
of people, yeah, people,
Okay.
10,000. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, cool. So what I'm trying to say is that a mentor is important to guide one into his dream. Then now, uh, uh, what how do people need to have the right mindset? Because the right mindset is very important. I will try to give more examples on how to have the right on how to know you have the right mindset. For example, let's talk about of our various countries. Now, you see, let's say the president of a country. I'm from Nigeria. Okay, so let's say the president of a country. Our current president is Buhari, for example. Now, so when his party are doing campaign for the next year's election, okay, now watch the TV carefully. You'll find out that when the president and his campaign come out to the street, about 1 million people, I mean, vote supporters, so-called supporters, they follow him. They are happy. 1 million people. Okay. Now, the next day, the next party does a rally campaign in those area, again, the same area, and you find out that the same 1 million people are still happy. So try to observe the sequence. when you run the regression carefully, you find out that 70% of the people around the world, they don't know what they want. Because today you are happy for this person as a mentor, Buhari. Tomorrow somebody else came, you are joining the next crowd. So a majority of people around the world today, by statistics, more than 70%, they don't clearly have a vision of what they want to do, like who I should take as a mentor. A mentor is very important because it's help you guide you into your track of life and career. I don't know if I have more time to continue. Yeah.
Okay,
Hello.
thank you for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Very informative.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going now to the next question, which is quite
Okay.
interesting and I think as well important. Wait one
Hmm.
second.
Okay.
Uh, Give me 2 seconds, huh?
Okay. Thank you.
Because I have too many things on my in front of me.
Okay.
Okay. As much as a person should learn from a mentor, where
Yes.
does one draw the line to avoid being a copy of the mentor? How does one distinguish himself and remain authentic?
Okay. Well. Okay. Well. Uh. When you talk of the word copy, I think to copy is not really a bad idea
You know
because
why I'm saying this? I'm saying this
okay.
based on what Mr. Busayo just said, that you should,
Okay.
you take all this
Mm-mm.
information from somebody of how he got there, and you go exactly the same path because, I mean, come on, you have not walked that path before, right? So before you
Mm.
start going in other avenues, you better go through the highway first.
Yes.
But once you have reached that destination, should you then still be going that highway, or should you now look, how can I, now that I've reached that place, how
Yes.
can I do it more in a different style? Basically,
Okay.
do you have to copy the other person and how he enters?
Okay. So your question is, can I be more specific on the exact question, please?
My question is how you avoid
Yeah.
becoming a copy of the person. Let's say,
Okay.
oh, you
Okay.
admire, let's say, Bill Gates. Does it mean you have to
Yes.
wear t-shirts like him to a meeting?
Can I just
Okay.
can I put a
Something
light
Yeah.
like
on that?
that. Does it mean you have to talk to people in the same way? Okay, you have your own style, of approaching people. Mr. Busayo, maybe you can help us on
Yeah.
this
Yes,
one.
yes, that's a very good question, and I think we must acknowledge your depth knowledge of this mentorship. It's
Mm-hmm,
important for the mentee to be himself or herself and to be ready to
mm-hmm,
learn. Because at the end of the day, the idea of mentorship is to learn from others. You may never be the direct copy of anybody. It is not possible. You can't be the way God creates us. We have our individual idiosyncrasies. So, but what we are trying to just achieve in mentorship is to learn from others, to learn from the experience of those who have passed through the road before. So a mentee must be willing to learn. You must have this determination that this guy or this woman has done this for himself or herself. He has achieved so much. If I approach this individual, if I can get a mentorship from this individual, I can be like him or be better off. For instance, let's say a lady wants to be like Michelle Obama, and you have the opportunity of reaching out to her. Of course, you cannot be an exact copy of Michelle Obama, but you can, get through to know so much what she has gone through, what she has achieved, the challenges she has, encountered in life. At the end of the day, you cannot be a carbon copy, but you can be a better individual who can achieve the same feat or even much more for yourself in your own future. Because remember, what you are looking at today is the mindset of the mentee, okay, and the mentor to achieve the future. So I think the focus should be on the mentee and not the mentor now, because The mentor must have achieved something. The mentee is trying to pursue a dream and is looking for how to navigate so that he does not miss the road. So the mentee must ensure that he or she, be herself or be himself by all means. Okay.
Okay.
And the relationship, it must be ready to learn, willing to learn from the mentor. Now, let me say
Rhea,
something more. Let me say something
Rhea,
more.
Hello.
if I jump in here, if you don't mind, let me also
Yes.
address that question. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I'm listening to you.
Okay. Um, yeah, first I apologize. I had to go behind the scene to do some troubleshooting, but it's okay. I'm back now. Um,
Okay.
everybody is an individual in their own way. There is
Okay.
nothing wrong. For example, I myself, let me use my example.
Okay.
I like to sing. I'm in the choir. I'm in my church
Mm-hmm.
choir, and I've been singing ever since I was a teenager. When I was growing up, for example, I would put Whitney Houston songs all day long. Like on a Saturday, I would be cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the house, cleaning my bedroom. I put Whitney Houston, and I would be mimicking how Whitney Houston was singing. She is my idol. She's my number one idol as a singer. There's nothing wrong with trying to basically repeat some of the good things you hear or you see your mentor doing. But what you have to remember, where do you draw the line? You ask the question. You draw the line in you cannot be 100%. Just get the good things, get the good step. Maybe it's some vocal exercises that Whitney Houston is doing. But when you try to do 100% of what Whitney Houston is doing, which is impossible, you're gonna even be ridiculous. People are gonna make fun of you. Look at her trying to mimic Whitney Houston on stage, but when you can't do that, those high notes that Whitney Houston can do hit. I have a lower voice, so it's gonna be ridiculous. If I want to sing with the same quality, I will have to choose maybe a lower note and do a similar thing, but not in a mathematical terms. We have the distinction between similarity and congruence. So I have to try to do something similar to what Whitney Houston does, because I can never be congruent to what Whitney Houston is. And like Mr. Busari said, no one else can be exactly congruent to another person. The reason why we choose our mentors is because we like, we admire what they do. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be choosing them in the first place. We don't choose our mentor because of their look. We don't choose our mentor because of the way they dress. Most likely, it's because of what they do. So there's nothing wrong in trying to repeat what they do, but we have to actually know ourselves, know yourself first. What is your goal? Your goal is not going to be your mentor's goal. Otherwise, you put yourself in danger zone. Yeah, people in America, little young boys go around shooting, practicing the basketball, saying, I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike. Yeah, they want to be like Mike, but not 100%. They want to excel, but not 100% like Mike. I'm finished.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Edmund?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I can chip in something there.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Emilia, for what you said. And just to add to what you said, uh, um, Ria mentioned something about like copy and paste. Okay. Well, um, having a mentor, copying from a mentor, of course, even though we try, okay, even though we try to copy from our mentor, of course, we cannot copy everything 100%, okay, because we're going to fail by default. So, but the ability for us to copy what we need from our mentor and, of course, refine it, copy to refine. I think it makes the mentee to have to have a good sense of what he or she wants to do in his life. For example, I remember when I was in high school. Then I used to use YouTube. Yeah, when I was in high school, I think I was one of the first people who used YouTube then, because I think internet just came to Nigeria in 1999 or slash 2000. So then at 2002, I used YouTube. It's very expensive. So I remember we got a Chinese phone. Okay, so this Chinese phone was it was having loud sound for those who can remember. Like very loud sound. It's a copy. It's a fake Nokia. Okay, so the Chinese company. Okay, so the Chinese company literally copied everything from Nokia. So you can see it's some of the phones then was even written Nokia double A, stuff like that. So along the line, people, they were laughing at Chinese product, but we're still buying it. Now take note, the Chinese companies who were copying this product, they were copying brand. People were laughing at them. That was then. But along the line, they copied. That is, the Chinese companies, probably their mentor was Nokia company or Motorola company. So they copied to a level whereby they now, through the act of copying, they discovered how to make mobile phones work. So along the line, after copying, then they branched out to what we have as one of the best Huawei mobile phone now. So copying is allowed. That is, the mentee can copy from the mentor, but when it gets to a certain level, the mentee should should refine, make sure he refines what he copied. That may be a successful mentee. Thank you. That's an example.
Or what I would say, that he is making it in
Yeah,
such a way that whatever he has copied work for his culture or for his
that's it.
community.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. These are really interesting insights. I see somebody just raised a question that's quite interesting as well. So I will go to that. Let me see. The person asked, he's thanking all the speakers. In the case of direct mentorship, it is quite difficult to approach potential mentors due maybe to their time limitations. I might be wrong, but I notice in the Black community, mentors are not always willing to help those seeking for advices in their academic or entrepreneurial journey. Do you have some advices concerning the way to approach identified mentors and keep that relationship? May I answer a little bit of this question? You don't
Okay.
necessarily have to look in
I'm
your
also
own,
interested in that question. Thank you.
you don't
Okay.
necessarily have to look in your own community, because I'm an entrepreneur myself. And to be very honest, I couldn't find it in my own community or from my own country mates. But you don't need that. Entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. A mentor can be from wherever. You don't have to stick to that, um, your own community or culture or country mates. Okay, I leave it now to you guys. This was my take on it. And now I'm listening to you. What's your take on it?
Okay. I don't know if I can still speak, or Mr.
Yeah, you can keep going. Come on, keep it rolling. We're
Oh,
listening to you.
okay. Maybe I should wait for Mr. Otto. Mr. Otto Busayo. After you, I
It's
will
all right. It's all
speak.
right. Okay. Just like you have rightly said, it's a very nice question for us to tackle today. And
Yes.
Yeah.
like Ria, rightly said, in our community, the Black community, is not a common phenomenon for people to choose mentors. But whether
Mm-hmm.
we like it or not, mentors must be chosen, because you are just lifting yourself with many arms rather than just your own two arms alone. Okay. So
Yes.
now, how do you get a mentor? Let me just quickly say this. It's sometimes it comes naturally. Like now, I have a mentor. My mentor is my I'm pastor. I have a master's degree from one of the best universities in Nigeria, University of Ibadan. So definitely I look up to people that are more educated to mentor me. That one is natural. Now I met a pastor. He's a PhD holder. He has his first degree from IFE first class in electrical engineering. He has his second degree from University of Manchester, no, Holland University, University in Holland. And he has his PhD from University of Manchester. So when I met him 15 years ago, when I came to Europe, and he spoke, I said, wow, I've never seen this wisdom. This is awesome. This is unfathomable. So there was a connection between him and myself the first day. In fact, I wanted to make a decision to move to another country, but I said, no, because of this man, I just want to be with him. I want to listen to him. I want to, take advice from him. Now, 15 years after, if you ask me, have I really benefited from this relationship? So much, so much. But it came naturally because he was my pastor. Then I began to work with him. He would give me some tasks. At a point in time, he said, look, I like to work with you. That even having you around is just like having more than 10 people around me. You can do this. So I learned so much from him. I learned courage, relentlessness. He's somebody that believes in doing so, starting a project anyhow. And now he's going into, he has done so much project worth millions of euro, more than 10 million euro. So I love the way he dabbles into things. He goes into things without thinking of the consequence. His own option is this thing must be done, risk must be taken, and we must go ahead and take a risk. Oh, if I take the risk, it's going to be a problem. Yes, there'll be a problem, but we can find a way to navigate through the problem. But through that, he has achieved so much than his peers. So when you look at the way I connected with him, it was a natural thing. I didn't go to look for him. He didn't go to look for me. We just have a connection, and I discovered something, spoke to me in my spirit that this is the right man, and that was a connection. So you can have a mentor that is your uncle, but you are just discountenancing him. You are just look at him. Who is this uncle? What does he do? It doesn't matter. No, the guy may have something to offer you in a particular area. You may have an uncle that is your boss at work. Maybe you have an uncle that always encourages you. A boss that's always telling you can be the best, you can achieve your dream, you can do this and that. That may be your mentor. You may have a neighbor who is just, always good in encouraging you when you are down. He calls you from time to time. What are you doing? Are you pursuing this area? Is your mentor. So the mentor does not have to be like the richest man in Africa. You want to look for him. That may not be the. In fact, sometimes your mentor needs to understand you. It needs to be from your environment. If I look for a mentor who is based in Chicago and I live in Italy, there may not be a correlation between the localization of issues in that environment and in this environment. So your mentor can be your mother, it can be your father, it can be your teacher, it can be your friend, it can even be your spouse. So if you are looking at mentor and you are looking for the big man in the society, a motivational speaker, a man, you may be looking at the wrong direction. But that man that is next to you, that's always making you to be lifted when you are down, that's always encouraging you to do more, that you can achieve more from life, that you are just operating, at your comfort zone. You are just getting so comfortable where you should not be. You should reach out and do more for yourself. That is your mentor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ria.
Mr. Edmund, if I may say
Really?
something.
Yeah, there's a lot of really a lot of knowledge shared here, and I'm really grateful for that. So
Can I?
now
Can
we've
I?
spoken about this,
Okay.
and I like the fact that you said that yes, he must come a bit from your community, but some communities, they're not so outgoing in helping their communities. What if you cannot find a mentor in your own community, right? How
Thank
do
you
you
very
deal
much
with
for
that?
that question. When I have the opportunity to talk, I will tell you more that sometimes you need to have multiple mentors. Okay. Now, what I meant by my community is this. There is a possibility that you are looking for a mentor. The right person you meet tomorrow is your mentor. But you are not limited to that mentor alone. Because at the end of the day, a mentee is looking for someone that can energize him. A mentee is looking for someone that can, motivate him, that can propel him, that can empower him. So if you find that in your company, be it. But what I'm just saying is this: when you begin to choose your career, maybe you are an author like me, an author like me. Now you want to have a mentor that can encourage you in the area of writing, but you still need an author that can encourage you in the area of marketing. Because if you publish a book and you don't have enough, returns coming there, you may be discouraged. So you need a mentor that can help you in the area of writing, how you can write very well, flawlessly, and things like that. But after you have written, you need to market the book. And if the mentor that mentor you on the writing is not in the area of marketing, it's just a good author or a professor of English or whatever, you need to look another mentor that can encourage you in the area of marketing. Now, that may not be somebody you can have access to directly, but you can go online, look for someone who has achieved much. You can write to them. You can communicate with them. You have their number, their email. You can write to them. You can tell them what you want them to do for you. That is an area. But for instance, if you are not able to get a connection with them directly because of their busy schedule, you can go for their messages, what they have spoken concerning that area in marketing. Begin to use them, and if you use them, you can get so much encouragement and can make more success in that area. So you have to look inward, you have to look outward. That is my message.
Hmm. Okay.
Thank you so much
Well,
for that answer, because yes, as I said already, what if you cannot find it in your own community? And when I said this, actually, I meant, let's say you come from a very poor background, right? And you are in this
okay.
community that where, yeah, maybe your parents are not up to that, because we are, yes, not all of us are that privileged. But let's say this young boy, he goes to school and all that, but within his immediate community, he doesn't have these mentors, right? The teachers,
Hmm.
yeah, they only care for their own. They give their lessons and they're gone. What would you um, advice would you have for this kind of person?
Thank you
Okay,
very
maybe I
much.
can.
Okay, sorry, I think my gents, please, I can't see your name, only Bridge Africa. What's the name again? Sorry.
Oh, my name is Eddie Edmond. That's my name, Edmond.
Edmond. Okay, so you can answer the question, Edmond.
Okay, so
Okay.
I will just make
Yeah.
it brief so you can give us yours. So
Okay.
okay. Okay. Well, I will talk about the defect of why people give up to answer that question you just raised. Now,
Yeah.
many people in our society today, okay, because I'm sorry, but I work with statistics most of the time. Uh,
Okay.
about 1% of the world of 7 billion people, to be specific, 1% will be successful in their career. So
Uh-huh.
what it means is that if you are in a class of 50 people, only 1% will be successful. You can't change
Okay.
statistics. And if it changes,
Okay.
then it's a miracle. Okay.
Okay.
So which means, so it also means that this Zoom program we are speaking right now, only 1%
Uh-huh.
people are going to get this information.
Uh-huh.
So at every time, it's 1%. So what I'm trying to say is this: most of the time, uh, uh, the people who are not able to get the right mentor is
Uh-huh.
because of patience. Because many people today they give up. I don't have the statistics for that, but there's a statistics that clearly explain how many seconds people give up during a very vital decisions. Um,
Okay.
there's a pastor in Nigeria. It's Pastor Oyedepo. I don't know if everyone knows him here. Pastor Oyedepo and Benson Idahosa. I
Yeah.
watched their tape. So there was one remark Pastor Oyedepo gave one of his message. So he
Uh-huh.
said that someone came to meet him, and the person was complaining that he doesn't have a job. That the person has been following the pastor for quite a long time. He was trying to
Uh-huh.
meet him. So the man had patience because Pastor Oyedepo is a busy man. He is a
Uh-huh.
mentor to the man who came. The man is a mentee. Pastor Oyedepo is the mentor. But the man was patient enough, because it's not about faith in God. It's about a human understanding, having the right mindset. So the man was patient enough until one day he met with the mentor, which is they call him Bishop Oyedepo. So when he met him, so Bishop Oyedepo told him that, what is your problem as a mentor? Then the man said, he's suffering and he doesn't have this and this and that. Then Mr. Oyedepo said, wow, so do you have a car? He said he has a car. He told him, go and do Uber business. That's it. And the man, he couldn't understand. He had a car, but he's still broke. So his mentor told him, because the mentor didn't just talk. In quotes, Pastor Oyedepo is a very rich man. So he has been on the other side and he has been on this side. So he told him, take your car and do an Uber business from Kano to Lagos. And the mentee went and copy and paste. He did exactly what he said. He started running from the north